I have not come this far to die now. Hey Ellis, you know that shit I was saying? I was just joking, right?
Nick, otherwise known as Nicolas, is my favorite character throughout the Left 4 Dead games. He's basically the Ryan Gosling of the zombie apocalypse. Being 35 at the time, he presents himself as the leader and takes the lives of the others to his own matters. A douchebag tone is always what he gives off. Nick is the asshole of the group that would sacrifice themselves for the rest, even if he wasn't sure why. His presentation comes off as this single encounter that you're sure would run off with the first chance they would get, which yeah, maybe he would, but it becomes harder to tell the more you progress. He remains in that asshole mentality, but recognizes the others as genuine partners, something that Nick may not be used to in his life of crime. Partaking in a high-stakes, reckless lifestyle, Nicolas is known for his gambling. His plan was to travel to Savannah in hopes of flushing out the exploitable, looking for another unsuspecting victim that he could deceive and thieve from, although it is unknown where he originates. He became an escaped convict that ended up stealing the suit that we see him equipped with in-game. This image evolved into a persona-type attitude for him. Whilst looking for a better life, he became caught up in the middle of the outbreak, leading us to where the survivors all meet.
Hey, where is everybody? Hello?
Oh, this is not happening.
Anyone here?
This is not happening. This is not happening.
Thought they supposed to be saving our asses.
Looks like there's been a change of plans.
Nick hates Ellis. Okay, maybe only a little bit. The dynamic between the two go hand in hand. He begins showing resentment and hatred for the group that he's been in. He begins showing resentment and hatred for the group that he's been in. He begins showing resentment and hatred for the group that he has inevitably been placed with, and so Ellis, being the Nimrod, is often looked down upon. The sarcasm in his vocabulary contrasts when paired with other personalities, and now thinking about it, the two resemble a brother-type bond, just as Rochelle behaves as a sister to Ellis. Nick will make fun of Ellis and treat him as the available bait, but in reality he knows that he would never betray him. Their trust and guidance grows stronger the longer they are occupied together, almost as if Nick feels a sense of remorse for Ellis being so young while exposed to the virus and the downfall of society. Now mentioning Rochelle, Nick would patronize her. Now mentioning Rochelle, Nick would patronize her. Bro, stop pinging me. Now mentioning Rochelle, Nick would patronize her in ways of catcalling, still using his sarcastic tone while referring to her as sweetheart, sweetie, and honey. It's not long until Rochelle cuts his act. Showing him the same attitude causes Nick to turn this banter into a view of respect. They share very similar level of realism in their vision on the world, while both letting themselves have fun. Later on, if Rochelle's to die, Nick will hit us with one of the most overlooked quotes in the series.
I can think of two other people I would have rather seen go first.
This is obviously a lot more heartfelt than his initial line.
There goes repopulating the earth.
Finally, we have Big Man Coach. These two trade jabs at each other the hardest. They have a sense of reluctant care, but just like everyone else, would never abandon each other. Nick subconsciously views Coach as the substitute leader. He respects the older man and compliments him when tagging a special infected. Their anger is blown off by turning the game of survival into a game of competition, seeing who can show off the most before they bite off more than they can chew. While Coach is Nick's punching bag and is criticized for his weight and life choices, they both know that Coach would end Nick's bullshit in hand combat. Coach, being the fill-in leader, is supported when Nick mourns his loss and replies with,
God damn it, Coach, what'd you leave me with? God damn it. Coach, what did you leave me with?
It is implied numerous times that Nick has been previously engaged. He'll make different comments upon hearing a witch. There's a chance he will say, I think I hear my ex-wife. Along with, the last time I saw this many women crying was at my wedding, in the Hard Rain campaign. It is no surprise that he engages with women, as his character model sports a hickey on the neck and lipstick smudged on his collar. Not much changed from his original design. The beta model simply just had a cleaner suit, as well as allegedly not having the leg holster, but I couldn't find proof of this. Now in my Ellis video, I added a point where I spoke about the suggested favorite weapons on the Left 4 Dead wiki, and I received comments hinting that the stated weapons are what the AI relatively pick up in the game, and this is very common to notice, so it doesn't seem like a stretch. But speaking on that idea, his preferred weapons make perfect sense, the best options you've got. Usually deciding on the AK, this matches his sharp, robust personality, yet of course he will express gratitude for a new ridiculous find.
Hell yeah, grenade launcher! Time to make some zombie soup!
Hugh Dillon is the voice actor for Nick, while Taimur Ghazi is the face model. Dillon was 46 at the age of Left 4 Dead 2's release, and Ghazi was 35, funnily enough being the same age as Nick. As you probably figured, Taimur previously worked in the acting industry, continuing this legacy after the game. Hugh, on the other hand, was known from his music and continued acting after the release, but never stirred away from his intended passion. There's a fantastic 30-minute podcast that explains everything to know about Taimur's experience with the role, but unfortunately there's a lack of information regarding Hugh, just as the actor for Rochelle that has no interview either. It should also be known that during interviews, Valve had mentioned the casting of numerous actors before deciding, as they needed the perfect mix and attitude to complete the character. It wouldn't surprise me if Nick were to be the only one that survives in the end. He remains precautious and precise, being the one to run skeptical about the military's true plan to secure the civilians from this hell. His skills and experience make him best equipped for the apocalypse. While his cold tone is viewed primarily as his personality, it goes so far beyond. Nick may come off as an amateur bandit to the naked eye, but his persistence to the role keeps him alive and alert. It's not inherently wrong for him to have planned on abandoning the group. After all, you are in a zombie apocalypse. Putting your back to 3 other people that have weapons, you'd be skeptical too. In the end, Nick realizes that these people that he once viewed as literal dogs are his only chance to make it out. It's beautiful in a way to see this corrupt and isolated man be put into a scenario where he's forced to do things he normally wouldn't. Nick may be a piece of shit, but he's the piece of shit your dog takes in the yard that leads you to actually go outside. Like I said before, something that you aren't used to. I'm joking.
Goiter, man!
I hope you enjoyed the video. I understand that WoW Such Gaming has already created the survivor profiles years ago, but I've always wanted to talk about the characters myself. Would you like this to be a series where I cover all the characters? Let me know in the comments. I love reading them all, and I want to thank you for the overwhelming support I've had so far. I never intended to fully begin YouTube, but things change, and we'll see where it goes from here.